everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Cassie Elle Talks. In today's episode, we're taking a look at a social deduction card game that plays 4 to 6 players called Get Adler by Caper Games. The story of Get Adler is you and all of your opponents are secret intelligence agents, and you work in 1937 London. Top secret documents have gone missing, and so has Agent Adler. The first part of the game is trying to figure out who is Agent Adler, and the second part of the game is trying to successfully arrest Agent Adler before the 7th hour is up. I thought the game was really different and fun, and I liked the mechanics a lot, so let's go ahead, take a look at Get Adler. Alright everyone, welcome to Get Adler. I have the game kind of set up already here for 4 players. At the beginning of the game, everybody is given their secret identity. In a 4-player game, there are 3 intelligence agents and 1 Agent Adler. Players are also given a card reference card that is double-sided. The first player is also given these tokens to keep track of the rounds. In Get Adler, there are 7 rounds. The rest of the cards are put in the center of the table to make up the deck, and you're now ready to begin the game. The start player first draws a card into their hand and chooses one of those 8 cards to play. Cards in their hand might include this card, which is the top secret documents card. At the end of the 7th round, if Adler has this card in his hand, then he wins the game. If any of the other players have this card in their hand, they might choose to discard it from their hand to show that they're not Adler and they're not trying to hold onto the card through the game. The next card a player might have is this card. If you play the question mark card, you may ask another player a yes or no question. That yes or no question must include questions that relate to the different types of characteristics listed on that other side of that card reference card. The next card a player might have is Magnifying Glass. If a player plays the Magnifying Glass, they get to look at the whole hand of another player in secret. The next card a player might play is the Binoculars. If a player plays this card, they choose a card at random from another player, and then they choose one of their own cards to give back to that player. The next card a player might have is the Arrest card. If a player has the Arrest card, on their turn, they may choose to play it in front of another player that they think is Adler. If that player is Adler, then they go ahead and attempt to arrest Adler. If that player is not Adler, both the player who played this card and the player they played it on lose a turn. The next couple of cards a player might have in their hand are these cards, which are different types of escape cards. Adler is going to try to play these cards on his turn when he is revealed and is attempting to escape. If he plays any of these cards, then whoever is attempting to arrest him also has to play that same card to keep up with him. The next card a player might have is a Bomb card. If Adler plays the Bomb card, then all other players lose a turn. The next card a player might have is the Disguise card. If Adler plays the Disguise card, then he escapes using a disguise. The last card a player might play is the Pistol card. If a player plays the Pistol card, they engage in a shootout. The shootout happens between Adler and another player. If Adler plays more cards or plays the same amount of cards as the other player, Adler gets away. If Adler has more, Adler also gets away and takes out that player from the game. If the other player has more pistol cards played, they take Adler out and the other players win the game. So getting back to the first player's hand, we have a whole bunch of top secret document cards in our hand, and we're actually Adler. So what we're gonna do is play one of these top secret document cards to kind of make people think that we're not Adler, and because we also have 2 extra top secret document cards in our hand to spare. We play that card, and then we pass turn. This player draws their card, and they choose to do the same thing. They then pass turn. This player draws their card, and they choose to play the question mark card. This player takes a look to see the different kinds of characteristics that Adler has, and they choose to ask our first player if they have black hair. Because our first player is Adler and they do have black hair, they have to answer yes. Interestingly enough, the third player over here is the only other character in the game that has black hair. So because of this information they've received, they know that the first player is Adler. But they can't share information with the other players, so they have to wait until the next round comes back to them to try to arrest Adler. Now it goes to the next player, who draws a card, and they also play a top secret documents card. Now it goes back to the first player's turn. They flip one of these time chips over to indicate the next round has started. They draw a card, play a card, and they ask this player if they have a black coat. Because they are asking questions about Adler, even though they are Adler, they're trying to make other players think that they're not. This player does not have a black coat, so they answer no, and the turn moves on. Now it goes to their turn, they draw a card, they play the Magnifying Glass. The Magnifying Glass lets them look at another player's hand, so they choose this player. They take a look at the hand, and then they pass turn. Now we're back to this player, who knows who Adler is, so they choose to, on their turn, they draw their card, and they play an Arrest card on Adler. Because it is Adler, they reveal their identity, and so does everybody else. Now that Adler's been revealed, he's going to attempt to escape arrest by playing some of those escape cards. So Adler plays the boat and tries to escape on the boat. But Constable Townsend also has a boat, so he keeps up with Adler. Adler doesn't have any more escape cards, so he plays the pistol card to shoot at Constable Townsend. Constable Townsend has a card, so he plays the pistol card he has, and it goes back to Adler, who plays another pistol, and then Constable Townsend has another pistol, so he plays it. Adler goes to play another pistol, and Constable Townsend is all out of pistols. So what happens now is Constable Townsend gets shot by Agent Adler, and he's out of the game. Agent Adler is now down to 3 cards. First, he gets to refill his hand up to 7, but he refills it from the dead character. Adler now has his 7 cards, so the play moves on to the next player. You keep playing Get Adler back and forth through turns until eventually you get to the 7th round, and if Adler has not been arrested by the 7th round, and he has one of the top secret document cards in his hand, he wins the game. If he does get arrested before the 7th round and does not escape, or he gets to the 7th round and does not have a top secret documents card in his hand, the other players will win the game. And that's Get Adler by Caper Games. So that was Get Adler from Caper Games. I thought the game was a lot of fun. I like social deduction games, but I like that the game was only social deduction like the first part of the game, and then in the second part of the game there's other mechanics that you have that show up that you don't get in the first half. So I think the game keeps the interest going, and I also think that it's cool because they have additional rules in here, so you can, I only showed you 4 players, but you can play up to 6, and some of the characters also can have special abilities, and there's advanced rules as well. So there's a lot of diversity in the game as well. If you like to Get Adler and you want to learn more about it, feel free to check out some of the links down below. And if you like this video, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. You can also find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and I write for the IndieGameReport.com. Thanks for watching. That's Cassie Elle signing out with Get Adler from Caper Games.